Hi and welcome to another Tutorial Tuesday. This week I'm going to show you how to create a beautiful background or die cut element using this new product by Tattered Angels and Canvas Core. It's a joint venture. The product is called Naturally Aged Paint System and it comes in different variety. This one is of the precious stone family and it is called Granite. There's also some that imitate wood and some that have the brick or the stone look. But today I'm going to show you how to use this particular one. You'll need your craft mat, very important, as well as some baby wipes and paper towel. You'll also need a heat tool, a bucket of water with 2 paint brushes of varying sizes, a piece of vanilla cardstock that measures about 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, or you could also use a manila tag, labels for nestabilities by Spellbinders. As an embellishment, I'll use one of those flowers from the burlap flower set by Little Yellow Bicycle, and this set is called Daisy. Vintage photo distress ink, as well as an ink applicator and foam, distress stain in peel paint, some foam adhesive, as well as your favorite double-sided adhesive, and your personal die cutting system. So I'm just opening up the pack for the paint system, and inside you're going to see some instructions. And in each of the packs you'll find different paints according to whatever finish you want to achieve. In this one I have the iron chalkboard spritz. I have 2 glazes. This one is Satchel and Plumeria. And I also have the Glam, which is the cookies and cream glam. So we'll have to use all 4 of these to achieve the finish that we want. Okay, so I have my piece of vanilla cardstock and I'm going to start with the Satchel glaze. Kind of like unevenly. I do want to cover the whole cardstock because I don't really want to see the light area, but for starters I'm just going to stipple that, and the more uneven you layer that on, the better it is. So you can leave some areas very light, or you can go very dark. And I'm going to take a baby wipe and I'm just going to help it help distribute the color. And I'm going to dry this just a little bit. So now I'm going to redefine this color. It really, every time that you're going to do this, you're going to get a different result. You're not going to get the same all the time. And that's the beauty of that technique. What I also like about this paint system is that it really is a complete system where you don't have to think about what colors you need to use to imitate the granite or the wood veneer or whatever paint system you decide to use, because they've done all the work for you. Now this is wet. I'm going to leave that wet, and I'm going to apply the iron chalkboard spritz. And I don't want too much of that. It's very potent, and I also want to concentrate in just some areas. And that is too much. I'm going to wipe this a little bit. You can even dab it on with your baby wipe. if you want. And before this all dries, I'm going to add some touches of the Plumeria glaze. This is another glaze just like the satchel that we've applied earlier. And this time I'm going to use a smaller brush. I just want little drops, or fan it out like that. And again, don't forget to mix your bottles really well before you use them, because there's some glitter at the bottom there. Now, what I want to do is heat set this. Oops. And then now I'm going to use my big heat tool for this. And this dries fairly quickly. Also, if you want to create a very interesting texture to the touch, you can also apply the heat directly onto where the paint has cooled, and you'll see it start bubbling up. Like here, I have a bubbling up action going on here, and that's just going to create even more texture to your work, which is quite cool. I'm going to add a little bit more of the satchel because I find that I'm getting lost here in the black, and I'm going to add the satchel randomly and maybe just make it pool in some places. Maybe go over with some of the black here. Now, on the instructions, they do recommend that you use a fan brush. I don't have one, and as you can see, I'm still able to achieve a look that's quite interesting. Alright, so this time I'm not going to add any of that black. We have quite enough. I might add just a little bit more pink. And you can keep working at it until you're happy. Look how beautiful and shiny this is. Oh, it's gorgeous. All right. Now this one you want to add everywhere, all over your tag or your paper. And you want also some areas thicker, and this will also add some interest to your work. So I'm going to start by just putting it all over. And the Glam has larger specks of glitter. Whatever. So now I have a good coverage all over my tag. I'm going to add puddles of it in some areas, just to tone the black down first and also to create some more interest. And what that does is that it just the larger glitter will concentrate in one area, creating even more the look of stone. See, you can see here I've got a great effect happening here. So I'm going to dry this. So I want to show you up close and personal what that looks like. Look at that, how gorgeous that is. Doesn't that look like real granite? Unbelievable. And I love the glossy finish which you get from using the glazes and the glams and all that shimmer. Absolutely gorgeous. So I want to use this piece to die cut an element for my card. So, I mean, it is sort of dry. I dried it really quickly with my heat tool, but I'm going to dry it even more, and I'm going to let it sit for a while, maybe 5 to 10 minutes before I die cut it. And then I'm going to put the rest of the card together. It's probably going to be in a sped up version, just because that technique took a while and I don't want you to sit through a long video. So I'm going to let this dry, like I said, and I'm going to put my card together. So here's the finished card, and so as you can see, I ended up distressing the flower a little bit with some vintage photo ink, and I colored the leaves with peel paint, distress stain, and I also stamped a sentiment by Hero Arts, and I just cut it up and popped it on the card. Now here's a variation of this card that I finished as well, and you'll see how I used the granite background that I had made previously, another one that I made previously, as an actual background. Let me do a close-up of that. Look how fun that is. And then I used the shattered craft cork cardstock for the label. And actually the layer of black that you see here is actually the leftover from when I die cut that piece. There's a hole in the middle, but nobody knows. So it's just one little trick to recover your leftovers. And I also cut up a sentiment and glued it onto the label and added a flower. I want to show you also another different background that I did using the same paint system, but this time instead of using my cardstock dry when I put on the satchel glaze, I wet my area first. So I started with a tag, and then I sprayed some water on it, and then I started layering the paint. So the satchel, then the black, and the plume area. And this is what it gives me. And now on this one, I haven't put on the cookies and cream glam, and this just gives you another finish. So there's a lot to do with these paint system. Whatever is being shown on the package is just one example, but you can just experiment on your own and come up with some cool ideas. And as I mentioned before, there's a whole bunch of different styles of paint system that we have, different patterns. You can do wood finishes, you can do stone, you can do bricks. So there's quite a bit to choose from. I think we have 8 different styles. So I hope that you'll give them a try. If you have any questions or comments on today's video, please leave them below, and I will see you on Friday. Bye!